Hello everyone, it's Allie from Titan and welcome back to our channel. Today we do have another special Flesh and Blood themed video. If you guys missed that premiere from last week, did go ahead and announce that next Thursday, exactly 1 week from today, we'll be previewing our own exclusive card from the upcoming set, Tales of ARIA. This is absolutely exciting and I'm thrilled to show off that card to you guys next week and I hope you'll join me. Some of you may be wondering, Allie, that sounds really cool, but I'm not too familiar with Flesh and Blood and I must admit, in recent times I feel like my knowledge of Flesh and Blood has really been lacking. So for you guys today, I have prepared a Flesh and Blood Primer, letting you guys know about all the different Flesh and Blood products that are out there, some of the formats in which you can play the game, and then actually we'll be checking out some boxes and also talking about my experience, personal experience with Flesh and Blood, the cards, the artwork, the lore, and anything else that comes to mind. So I'm very excited to kick off this three-part video with you guys by, like I said, showing off those products and explaining the game in a little bit more detail. So let's go ahead and get on into that part. Bye! Snapping us into the screen here. Well, hello everybody. We are going to be doing part 1 via voiceover, as I felt this was the best way to still be able to talk with you guys, give you information about these products and the formats, but also be able to show you what I'm actually talking about. So we're going to go ahead and kick off things here with the first release from Flesh and Blood, the first standalone booster product, the beginning of the game itself with the release of Welcome to Wraith. Now, the Alpha edition of Welcome to Wraith, even though pictured on screen right now, we do have the unlimited printing. Reasoning for that is, well, the Alpha printing box, the quality of the image resolution was not very good, so I am using the unlimited printing visual here. But this product did release on October 11th, 2019, so Flesh and Blood is only a little younger than 2 years old at the moment, which is definitely crazy to think about, considering, how much this game has taken people by storm. Definitely growing in popular, especially over the past year. I don't believe I recall ever hearing the name Flesh and Blood back at the end of 2019, but definitely a lot in 2020 is when I started hearing people talking about it. So, a little under 2 years, so about a month and a week or so from now is Flesh and Blood's second birthday. So happy birthday, early birthday, welcome to Wraith. But anyways, back to business here. October 11th, like I said, 2019 was that initial release of Alpha Welcome to Wraith. So this was a 226 card set. Boxes featured 24 packs per box and 16 cards per pack. Being the first release of the game, did introduce the first 4 classes. Did have Brutes, Guardian, Ninja, and Warrior. So those are the first 4 classes, and as you guys will see as we check out the other releases from Legend Story Studios for the TCG, we do expand upon those classes and introduce new heroes for those classes in future releases. And that brings us to the second release here from Flesh and Blood with Arcane Rising. This product released in March of 2020, March 27th to be exact, was the first edition printing of Arcane Rising. This was a 219 card set featuring 24 packs per box and 15 cards per pack, as compared to Welcome to Wraith's 16 cards per pack. This set also introduced 4 new classes: Wizard, Runeblade, Ranger, and Mechanologist. So lots of very interesting new classes added. Of course, I was very interested in the Ranger just because Azalea seems like a very cool hero, and Mechanologist, even though I've been stumbling over trying to pronounce that word multiple times today, also seems very interesting as well. So I'd love to see continued support for those classes in future releases. The third release from Flesh and Blood, here shown on screen in its actual first visual of a first printing box, is Crucible of War. Now this product, very, very different from Welcome to Wraith and Arcane Rising. This, instead of being a standalone set, was a supplementary set. So this was meant to complement the already released Welcome to Wraith and Arcane Rising. In such set, there were a lot of reprints, introducing new support for the already currently established hero classes. So, this was also a smaller box, same amount of packs, 24 packs per box, but only 10 cards per pack. A lot of the commons were cut from the packs as compared to those first 2 releases, as since being standalone, you didn't need them for drafting or sealed events anymore since that set wasn't viable for those types of events. It was only a 198 card set, and this did release later last year, August 28th of 2020. This now brings us to the most recent full release from Flesh and Blood, with May 27th, 2021's release of First Edition Monarch. Now this set was the largest set we've seen yet, with 307 cards. Again, 24 packs per box, just like all the other products, but did return to its roots, just like Welcome to Wraith, with 16 cards per pack. Now Monarch did introduce talents. We did see the introduction of light cards and shadow cards, added attributes to different hero classes and just classes in general. Also shown on screen now is the first iteration of Blitz decks. Now, Blitz is a new format in which you are using smaller size decks with only 40 cards plus 11 equipment slots and your young hero. But Blitz decks are pre-constructed decks, already ready-made. You can use them fresh out of the pack. And this was the first time we've ever seen it. Now, we'll talk about the Blitz formats a little more shortly. We are now current with all Flesh and Blood already released products and are now looking forward to the future with the upcoming release Tales of ARIA. Now, Tales of ARIA does release on September 24th, 2021, so approximately 3 weeks from today, and we are still in the midst of preview season for this product, so unfortunately won't have too much information about the classes and things like that. We do know that this product is a 238 card set, 24 packs per box with 16 cards per pack once again, and we'll be introducing 3 new heroes, only one of which so far, to my knowledge, we have learned the name of, and her name is Lexi. So as you guys even see on screen, that first edition box currently has, these were taken from the Flesh and Blood TCG website as official resources. The packs are currently blurred out, so we don't know what the heroes look like, and this product will also be releasing with Blitz decks, and we don't know the other 2 heroes in the Blitz decks. I thought it'd be cool to put up the one with the question mark. If you guys would like to see what the Lexi Blitz deck looks like, you can find that image readily available, like I said, on the Flesh and Blood website, just checking out upcoming Tales of ARIA. So I am very excited to be looking at the new archetypes in terms of heroes and new mechanics that have been advertised. All we know is that there will be new mechanics. Excited to check that out with Tales of ARIA's release. Maybe we'll see some really cool stuff with that preview card that I'll be showing off, exclusive preview card on the channel next Thursday. Very excited to see what Tales of ARIA has to bring to Flesh and Blood and its future. Now that we've taken a look at all of the currently released Flesh and Blood products and also that upcoming Tales of ARIA, figured it might be a good idea to touch base on some of the constructed formats of play. As you guys can see on screen right now, there are 3 different constructed formats for Flesh and Blood. Blitz, which is more fast-paced, Classic Constructed, which is your traditional play, and then Ultimate Pit Fight, which sounds absolutely amazing. I don't know how I've never heard of this multiplayer format before, but I need to get myself into an Ultimate Pit Fight match. That just sounds awesome. But anyways, calming down a little bit, let's go ahead and go in deeper on these different formats. So, starting with that top left, we do have the Blitz format. This is supposed to be a more faster pace of play, good for introductory players, and also good, still fun for those who are more seasoned players. So games, as you can see by these images, are supposed to take about 10 to 15 minutes apiece, although there's a hard cap of 30 minutes per round, and that is best of 1. So something I hadn't realized about Flesh and Blood compared to other TCGs is that the games are played of best of 1 rather than best of 3. So that's pretty interesting, and I think it sets it apart from other games out there on the market. The Blitz format does have a 40-card deck, no more, no less, that your deck has to be 40 cards large. Also, you do have 11 inventory slots for weapons and equipments, which there is a start of game procedure in which you select those. Then you also have your 1 young hero card that you play as. Now, although there are pre-constructed decks for Blitz in Monarch and Tales of ARIA, you also are able to construct your own deck for the Blitz format. Do just need to, of course, adhere to that 40 cards, no more, no less rule, and also you can only have up to 2 copies of each unique card in your deck. A card is unique if it has a different card name or pitch value from any other card. So I think that wraps up what we need to know about Blitz format. So let's go ahead and move on into Classic Constructed. Classic Constructed games are supposed to be longer than the Blitz format. Of course, Blitz being in the name, you think would go quite quickly. Classic Constructed games should be about 30 to 50 minutes apiece. Just like the Blitz format, they're also best of 1, and your time limit for the round is 50 minutes. So 30 to 50 minutes, with 50 being your absolute maximum. Similar to the Blitz deck, you will have your hero card on the outside of the deck. So instead of a young hero, though, it is an adult hero or young hero. So any hero card plus an 80 card maximum deck. This does include all of your inventory slots for equipment, weapons, and all of your cards, of course. So unlike having in the Blitz where that is extraneous, you get to select those afterwards. You need to have those cards incorporated into your deck before you get started with Classic Constructed. Also, as opposed to Blitz, you can have up to 3 copies of each unique card in your deck. And as I mentioned, adult heroes are legal. So in comparison, just the young ones, you have adult heroes and young heroes for Classic Constructed. Now, also, I believe Classic Constructed does have a ban list. However, at the moment, to my knowledge, there's only a single card on the ban list. So, definitely, if you're interested in playing that format, I would recommend checking out those links in the description down below. Get yourself more familiar with it. Get yourself more in tune with how to play the game and things like that. Unfortunately, I can't give you guys any advice, tips, tricks, or even so much of sort of a tutorial, but if you guys are interested, like I said, these resources are very, very nice on the Flesh and Blood website. Make sure to go check that on out. Now, the final format I'm going to be talking about here is that super cool, down there, bottom middle, Ultimate Pit Fight. How have I never heard of this format before? This just sounds incredible. Ultimate Pit Fight is a multiplayer format, so if you're familiar with Magic the Gathering, think more along the lines of Commander format. So, I just want to read this to you guys here from the website. The roar of the crowd, the taste of blood, the crunch of bone beneath your heel, make them tremble with fear as you stake your claim upon the battlefield. Only the strongest will survive and reap the sweet rewards of victory. When the tide turns against you, call upon your allies, for there will be glory enough for all. Welcome to the Ultimate Pit Fight. That's just amazing. That's just an amazing title for a format. That just 10 out of 10 would recommend. Never played it, but 10 out of 10 would recommend. So, in Ultimate Pit Fight, unlike Blitz, unlike Classic Constructed, you're starting with a 60-card deck, 20-card maximum inventory of weapons and equipments, and of course, you need a hero. For multiplayer, young heroes are recommended, although I suppose you could use adult heroes as well. You may also contain, similar to Classic Constructed, up to 3 copies of each unique card, and also, you are playing multiplayer. So there are some special rules for the multiplayer. I don't believe there's a limit on how many opponents you can have, but you can only attack players and only target heroes to your immediate left or immediate right. You can't go like diagonal or cross table or anything like that, and you can only defend yourself. So that's a little bit more technical in terms of gameplay, but that's just a little briefing here on Ultimate Pit Fight. Man, I was thinking I should get some Blitz decks and plays, but now I just want to find people to play Ultimate Pit Fight with. But hey, I think that's definitely a good note to end off our little primer here on the products and constructed formats of Flesh and Blood. So we're going to unsnap ourselves in for part number 2. Hey, and we're back. Thank you so much, everybody, for continuing with me here into part 2 of our Flesh and Blood primer. In this segment, I'll be talking about my personal relationship with Flesh and Blood, the game, the art, the lore, and everything in between. Now, during last week's preview announcement video, did go ahead and ask you all what you'd like to see in this follow-up video, whether it be a deep dive into the lore, whether it be teaching you a little bit more about the game, or anything else. It was quite the open-ended question, and I do want to give an extra special shout-out to Michael O.S. for this very kind and inquisitive comment that he left on last week's video. Michael here has a few questions. Hey, you can't just move past that. We got to read that comment out. That's rude. Give me a second. Give me a second here. All right. So Michael O.S. did say, well done, Allie. It's a no-brainer for Legend Story Studios to reach out to you. As a fan of the game and your channel, I'm absolutely chuffed that you've been given a spoiler. In the follow-up video, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Flesh and Blood. Is it popular on your channel and store? Have you played the game? Are you a fan of the art and the lore? What's your favorite set so far, if not in terms of gameplay, then in terms of art and design? Do you have a favorite hero? Maybe you can add all the links to your past Flesh and Blood openings to the spoiler vid. I hope this opens the door to more Flesh and Blood content from Titan Cards. Here's to the future of an obvious content partnership that will no doubt benefit Titan Cards, Legend Story Studios, and us as viewers. Hey, thank you so much, Omniscient Voice. That was a little weird if I do say so myself, but I understand why the voice did that. The voice was me. But yes, thank you so much to Michael for leaving that comment and for, of course, inspiring this part 2 here of our primer. Now, let me go ahead and move that off screen since the voice did read it on off, and let's go ahead and jump on into question number 1. Question number 1 asks, is Flesh and Blood popular here at Titan and on the channel? And with that, just like the expression, drink tea while it's hot, anytime there's a new set release, people are very, very excited about boxes, packs, and singles from whatever Flesh and Blood title product has released. So, when Monarch came out, if you guys remember in that preview video I did on the channel, I actually managed to pull a cold foil legendary. A lot of people locally were calling and asking to see that card, wanting to know more about the Monarch release, picking up some packs, boxes, and things like that. Regular times, unfortunately, we don't get too much product here, so especially as you guys notice with the recent Crucible of War Unlimited, we we only got in one full case of 4 boxes. So the shop had 2 boxes, went through those. I had one preview box to the channel and one box that went right away to, I believe it's Michelle Bro, for a personal break. So as I said, when products first come out, it flies off the shelves. We just have issues getting in more product to actually sustain it. So there is actually a surprising amount of card shops here in Pinellas County, Florida. And with that, there's a lot of different places that hold events. Bossman is not currently, comfortable with holding events just because Florida's not really doing very well at the moment. So we're not having any events. So unfortunately, we don't have our own player base of Flesh and Blood specifically tied to the store. But I do know a lot of people that do play Flesh and Blood locally, and the community is rapidly growing. Friend of the shop, Joshua, actually, John Moore goes by Josh. His real name is Joshua, but friend of the shop, Josh, actually recently got into Flesh and Blood, has been really enjoying it. So I personally know people that do play the game. So that does it here for question number 1. Moving on into question number 2. Question number 2 asks, Allie, have you ever played the game? Embarrassingly, I must admit, I have unfortunately not had the experience of ever playing a game of Flesh and Blood just quite yet. Now, I know it's like, Allie, that's so shameful. How could you be on here, opening up Flesh and Blood, having a preview for Tales of Aria, not having played a single game in your life? I don't know, but I'm very excited. But also, must admit, Flesh and Blood has been capturing my attention ever since we checked out that first box of Arcane Rising Unlimited here on the channel a couple months ago. So with that product, I absolutely fell in love with the art, which of course we'll be talking a little bit about later in question numbers 3 and 4, but also I just love the design of the cards. I did some research before I got into that first video, and even though I did stumble a bit finding, where the foils were in the pack and things like that, I did learn a little bit about how the game is played and was quite impressed. I do like how you have the interactions between players. You don't really get left off. If you do have reactions to whatever your opponent does first turn, you do get to draw and fill back up your hand. So I really do like that. I'm a little bit nervous, as you guys heard in that initial first part. Regular constructed games are just best of 1 and can last up to about 50 minutes. So that seems like a lot. But I am very interested in trying out the Blitz style, since those games are a bit more fast-paced, supposedly lasting between 10 and 15 minutes apiece, and is billed as a product and format of the game that is perfect for any introductory player and those more seasoned alike. So that's something very cool. I could just pick up a couple Blitz decks, which there are a few I have my eyes on, but I could just pick up a couple decks, play with some friends, play even with my parents. So that's something I am very well considering for the future. One of my favorite heroes is Prism, which I'll talk about more in question number 4, but she does have a Blitz deck because of course Monarch did introduce that Blitz format. So I'm eyeballing that one. I'm really curious about the other heroes, learning more about them, and I'm curious to see what Blitz decks we do get for Tales of Aria. We have seen the packaging for a Lexi Blitz deck, I believe. It's on the website. It's actually the only Blitz deck that has a logo on it currently, as the other 2 new heroes from that product have yet to be revealed. So I'm very excited to check out more of the spoilers here, as spoiler season did officially start yesterday. Mine is next Thursday, but I'll be checking out everybody else's and hopefully get some more clues on what those Blitz deck products for Tales of Aria entail. Jumping back in here with Cooperative Hair in question number 3. Allie, are you a fan of the art and lore of Flesh and Blood? To answer that question, I'm giving you all a resounding yes. I have spent the past several days checking out, reading all the passages on the Flesh and Blood official website, which if I haven't mentioned yet, is linked down below, so you guys can learn about the world of Wraith as well. But just learning about all the different landscapes, the heroes, the characters, just all different kinds of information about the lands has been absolutely enthralling, very, very capturing. Even reading just different passages about the different cities, it made me wonder, like, is Legend Story Studios ever going to come out with Flesh and Blood novels? Because I would love to do an absolute deep dive into these locations. Maybe not even the heroes, but just how the regular people interact with the lands. There's absolutely craziness going on. There's this story of that adventurer who went into the savage lands and discovered, the poisonous plants, losing his men along the way to very, very unsettling deaths, poisonous, like I said, poisonous lands, very, even the people that live there being very mysterious, disappearing and reappearing to attack. So just learning about all these different craziness going on, the pits, how it's the underworld of a city, tainted by the remnants of the mine shaft that's getting poisoned from that big city above, great big lands above. What is the name of the place? It's slipping my mind. Metrics, very scientifically advanced, but what comes down to the bottom into that infected land, or the outcasts of society, the gangs, no laws apply, no rules, and that's actually, I believe, where Azalea is, essentially assassin for hire. Just all kinds of craziness going down below. So that's just, I don't know, it's been very, very incredible for me to read about, and I'd love to learn more. So I am definitely very obsessed at the moment with the lore of Flesh and Blood, and I'm absolutely stunned by the art. Now, when we first opened up Arcane Rising, the first thing that really jumped out to me is, even though I know the game is rated 16+, it says right so on the box, just there's some very grotesque arts, very intense, as I've been saying. Very edgy is also a word I've used, but, you know, if someone's getting struck by a sword, there's going to be blood, and in other games you won't see that, so it's just, I don't know, it really strikes me as above and beyond, very different, and I'm excited to learn more and excited to see what Tales of Aria brings to us. Aria is a new landscape that's been hidden from other people of Wraith for thousands of years. If you guys remember that voiceover from last video, that was the official preview text for the land of Aria on the website. And you know, those borders are breaking down and outsiders are seeing into Aria for the first time in a long time. And what's going to happen to that climate? Very excited to learn more about that, learn about the flow. What even is the flow besides just the magical power of the land? There's so much I feel I need to learn. Like I said, I know a lot about, you know, well, I don't feel like I know a lot. I feel like I read a lot about the different locations, about the heroes, but I feel like I really need to dive in more, and I'm excited to do so. So, moving on to question number 4. All right, back with question number 4. I'm actually switching it up a bit from the order in which Michael asked, but what has been my favorite set so far in terms of art? Because like I said a little bit in question number 2, unfortunately I cannot comment on the gameplay of the specific set. So, ever since I was exploring the different lands of Wraith, and even as we open up the products, what really stood out to me was the land of Mysteria. Now that of course debuted with our first ninja class hero in Welcome to Wraith, but also we revisit it with the new hero Benji edition in Crucible of War. So I will pick Crucible of War just because we got to see more of that beautiful landscape. Oh, Mysteria is so gorgeous, very mysterious, but yet oddly inviting. I would love to go and explore. Definitely reminds me, if you guys have seen traditional Chinese arts of the mountains, I actually looked it up because I was like, what am I thinking of? And it's actually the city that I'm thinking of with the mountain range is called Zhongjiaye. And I'll throw a picture actually on screen right here of that beautiful mountain range. Credit to that picture in the description down below. But that is what I imagine what a real-life Mysteria would look like, and that is why I'm actually picking Crucible, because of the additional support to the ninja class. So I love checking out that product. I think we might actually be getting in a few more boxes later this week, so hopefully I can open up some more on the channel and experience, you know, interacting with these cards, looking more closely at the art, because you know what? The ninja class, I feel like, have the best foils from what I've seen so far. Now, of course, my mind could change as Tales of Aria comes out. That looks like a very interesting set. And I'm curious, perhaps, you know, in a couple weeks, I might have a different answer to this question for you guys. But getting into our 5th and final question, we have... Question number 5 asks me, Allie, who is your favorite hero so far? And you guys just heard me go on and on and on about the land of Mysteria, but I'm not actually picking any of our current ninja class heroes. Now, of course, we do still have 2 more heroes to reveal in Tales of Aria, so it might change, but at this moment, it is not a ninja. So I was looking through all of the different heroes of the world of Wraith, and I was very partial to the character designs of Azalea, of Kasai, of Shiana, but the character whose actual just information about them that really spoke to me was Prism. Now, Prism here, throwing up her young hero and regular hero card on screen, is one of the heroes introduced in Monarch, and her story is she was found as a little girl inside the Library of Illuminations, and with no memory of her history, where she came from, how she got there. But she did have a pure drop of the Arc Light, and definitely had a lot of powers that the person who found her was like, you know, we should take this girl along with us. And Prism is the embodiment of the pen is mightier than the sword, learning from that library, absorbing all the information, learning about the legend of the heralds, and then eventually cultivating her power and to be able to summon likenesses of those heralds, super powerful to defend Solana. So I absolutely love that story. Really spoke to me. I don't know, I guess, you know, growing up for me, thinking like, you know how it is sometimes thinking, you know, if I was in this fantasy world, what would I do? And I always felt like, you know, if I was to be like ever a hero, it'd just be, you know, the power of knowledge, knowing, you know, unfortunately having that big secret of knowing what happens in that universe and just being able to use that knowledge to help characters and things like that. So not necessarily related to what Prism does, but just being, for her, being able to read about Solana's past and things like that, and being able to just be able to do the The Conjuring is just absolutely amazing. So I love her character design as well. She's very adorable, and I hope that we see her again and learn more about her story. So that ties into more of just wanting to know more of the lore of Flesh and Blood. Just absolutely amazing. Like I said, very well written segments on the website about the lands, about the characters. Definitely recommend you go check it on out. And Legend Story Studios, if you guys made books about the worlds of Wraith, I would definitely be very, very interested. And I know a lot of people that play Flesh and Blood would be very interested as well. So I think that actually does it here for our Q&A. And although I am unable to open up this package right here as much as I want to, I mean, in theory, I could open it now. I just couldn't share it with you guys. But I'm going to wait till next week, absorb more of the spoilers released from all the other content creators participating, and just, I don't know, maybe try and theorize what I can find. I have no idea what it'd be. As I mentioned, we've never pulled a FaBled before on the channel. I mentioned that in other ones, so I don't think I'm cool enough to get a FaBled, but maybe we can get some really unique, kind of crazy stuff here in this package. So this is where the spoiler lies. UPS expressed all the way from New Zealand. So very fancy, but I'll set that down. So even though we can't open that on up, there is something else we can open up here for part 3. So we're about to get into a personal break here for Nicholas S. from Oregon to have 2 boxes here, and I thought it was very charming. This is Arcane Rising Unlimited, the first set of Flesh and Blood I ever experienced here, ever even seen with my own eyes here on the channel. So very first product we carried here of Flesh and Blood, very first I got to open on up. So what better of a set than for Nicholas to choose here to open on up with us. So thank you so much, Nicholas, for letting me open up these boxes for you. And I really hope that you'll enjoy this opening, and don't mind that I stuck it as a part of our Flesh and Blood Primer episode. Very, very cool special. So I hope you like that. But anyways, let's go ahead and snap us into the corner here for our third and final part of the video. So 2 boxes of Arcane Rising Unlimited. Very, very happy. Like I was just mentioning, our first ever Flesh and Blood product here on the channel. First ever we carried, first ever that I touched. So what better of a set than to get on into here in this video. So I'll go ahead and start off with this right side box. So if this is your first time tuning in, you're just like, I just signed up to learn more about Flesh and Blood. What is all of this? Why was there a Q&A and all this other stuff? Personal breaks here is where I go ahead and open up boxes for people, then of course send out all the cards. So that's the very basic information about it. If you want more specific details, how it works and things like that, check out the top link in the description down below. But all right, so let's crack on into this box. I don't remember if I said I'd get started with the left box or the right box, but I set the left one off to the side, and here we go. So, like I said, for Nicholas here, getting on into this one. Very excited to be checking out Arcane Rising. It's been quite some time. Actually did go ahead and pull up the TCG Player price guide here, mark it high to low, just so that way if we pull anything crazy, I can appropriately react. Unlike that time I pulled the Cold Foil Legendary out of Monarch. All right, here we go. Let's get started. And I accidentally did poke myself earlier. Not sure if you guys could tell with my Band-Aid earlier, but I had 2 new packs of Band-Aids because I had to open on up. I had these Mandalorian Band-Aids, and I had a pack of Pokemon. I was like, Pokemon would be cute, and then I'm like, wait, that's technically a TCG competitor. I should probably not wear that for the Flesh and Blood theme video. But all right, I've been having a blast in this one if you guys can't tell. But let's go ahead and get started here with pack number 1. We'll go through the commons a bit quickly just because, of course, we do have 2 quite large boxes for Nicholas here. But we do have common foil Reverberate. And then I'll set off our token over to the side. All right, 2 rares here in our first pack. Oh, this is so exciting checking out more Arcane Rising. It's just, I find it crazy how I feel this whole video came together. And I was actually talking with our TCG player guy, Billy, that my plans for this video, it feels like our first ever, like, real video on the channel with planning, you know, not necessarily scripting, but preparing what I want to talk about and just having different parts, lots of editing, not so fancy cuts, but, you know, more fancy than normal. So I hope you guys have been really enjoying this. Really love deep diving into Flesh and Blood. Of course, there's always more for me to do, more heroes that I feel like I could, you know, pick up more information on. I've just been absolutely loving checking out all the lore on the site, and I'm so excited to see what Tales of ARIA has to bring. So I hope Legend Story Studios also likes this video. Hope they like it. Hope they're not like, nah, we regret giving you a preview card. You're kind of weird. Why'd you have that weird voiceover? We do have a super rare. Of course, super rares did still exist back then. We have Become the Arc Knight, super, and a foil rare, Life for a Life. But I must admit, you know, looking more into Flesh and Blood has made me a lot more confident in the game. People ask me, Allie, do you know if Flesh and Blood will stick around or will it fade away like other games have, come and gone? But I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why you guys... I mean, I appreciate that you guys ask my opinion on it, but that would be more of a question for Bossman. But just reading, you know, about how much care has been put into these worlds, the characters, and I feel like there's a lot of room, especially in places like the pits, where I feel like you could even have future sets there. More heroes coming from that. It's just all different kinds of craziness. I feel like you could go. So many different storylines that can be pulled from these locations. I'm just excited to see more sets come through from Flesh and Blood. Now, one of the things I did pick up on reading the lore is that Wraith is a continent. It's, of course, the world of Wraith, but it's a continent. You know, are we ever going to explore more of that planet? What else is out there? So I don't know. I'm on the hype train for Flesh and Blood. You know, although embarrassingly, I've never played. I'm here. I'm down to learn more. And just, I want to start my own collection. This is super fun. We have Back Alley Breakline. I've been having a blast here, so I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Probably quite a long one if I had to guess. Do still have to, you know, cut everything together, but I've been having a wonderful time, so I hope you all have as well. And Nicholas, of course. Probably not what you expected when you got 2 boxes of Arcane Rising for an online personal break, but I hope you enjoyed it as well. And should have different timestamps down below. So hopefully you guys aren't floundering around being like, I wanted to see boxes, where's the boxes? Do have that foil Moonwish. That was a common foil. Kano. For some reason, Kano reminds me of Loki. Like, very powerful, so it's like you can't really challenge him, but also the rest of them don't really like him either. So, curious to learn more about him. That was a character I didn't feel like I got to spend enough time reading about. Do you have a foil rare, Take Cover? Arena's Prayer, rare, and Maximum Velocity, super. Aether Flare, common foil. Crucible of Aetherweave, token. Pretty sure I've seen that as a promo before. Life for Life, Silver the Tip, and Spellblade Strike, common foil. Pedal to the Metal, Spellblade Assault, and Pour the Mold, foil rare. That is our 3rd foil rare of the box here for Nicholas. Azalea. Do we have a young Azalea on the back? See, this was actually the inspiration for my outfit. I was trying to see, because I have a jacket similar to her part, of course, without all the metal pieces. I was trying to see if I could find a red scarf, you know, running around my house late last night, being like, yo, Mom, you got a red scarf? She's like, nope. I'm like, I guess we're not doing that. Because people in the comments have mentioned before and be like, Allie, you could do an Azalea cosplay. And I'm like, she looks really cool. As with a lot of, I feel, medieval-looking characters, I don't have, like, the body armor pieces. But I was like, maybe can find something somewhat close. And I feel like the design here on this top with the cuts, even though it's not, this is more of a burnt orange than a dark red. But I was like, you can do as young Azalea-inspired. You know, like, fits, it's on theme, it's on theme. I was like, I want to dress up nice, extra nice, nicer than usual for this video. I was like, why not do budget quasi-cosplay? It's fun, definitely fun. She seems like a really cool character, too. Reduce the Rune Chant and Teklo Core Majestic. First Majestic of the box, and common foil, Vigor Rush. Pedal to the Metal, and Arknight Ascendancy Majestic, Ridge Rider Shot, common foil, Enchanting Melody and Take Aim, Amplify the Arknight, common foil, Take Cover, Absorbent Aether, and Chains of Eminence. That is a foil super rare. Ooh, I love the foiling there on the chains themselves. Very cool. Our first foil super of the box. Irina's Prayer and Oath of the Arknight. Reverberate, common foil. Reduce the Rune Chant, Silver the Tip, and Searing Shot. Very awesome looking common foil. Enchanting Melody, Stir the Aether Winds, and Vest of the First Fist, common foil. Looks like we're actually almost finished up here with box number 1. This has gone by a lot quicker than I had anticipated. Do have Petal to the Metal, and Irina's Prayer, Throttle common foil. See, just art like this, it's just so intense. It's captivating. I don't know what else to say besides just, I feel like Flesh and Blood really makes a statement with their products. And I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Excited to see the rest of the images come out from, of course, Tales of Aria. Excited to see those new heroes. Lexi looks super cool. I want to know more about what she's about. And then, of course, those 2 other new heroes that we have no information as of the time I'm filming. And, of course, spoiler season is... I'm recording this on Wednesday, so spoiler season started today. So I'm going to go check out those new cards after this video. And keep up. I'm excited to keep up. I must admit, I'm a little bit intimidated. I was looking at, you know, who has scheduled spoilers for Wednesday and Thursday, the 1st and the 2nd. And it's, you know, it's like LSV, Noxious, Star City. I'm like, I'm not in the same category, not even close. So definitely an amazing opportunity. I'm so excited to open up that package. It sits there and stares at me. It's been in my location for like a couple days now. We have Talismanic Lens, common foil. And it's like, I want to open it. And I was like, no, I gotta sit, gotta make sure I plan everything out. Hey, it's me, but not really. I remember when my hair used to be that length, I loved it and hated it. I think actually closer to when the channel started, I had cut my hair around that length. A little longer than shoulder length, but definitely a lot shorter than it is now. Currently, if I'm in the shower, my hair is wet, I can do the mermaid thing where you just cover everything with hair. Not of course the bottom bits, but the top bits. It just makes me feel fancy. And then I'm like, this is kind of weird. But I loved it because I was like, ooh, my hair curls. It's not weighed down. It doesn't take half a bottle of conditioner to not be super dry in the Florida humidity. But then I also, if I got warm, I could not put it up in a ponytail because it wasn't long enough. So that's like my default state. To just get bored. Like right after this video's done, it's going up. It's going up. So that was the one thing I didn't like about it. And then sometimes I have really cool hair days like today where it's just, look at this fancy. I feel really fancy today. But I'm also like, you know, it's September 1st. I should be just chilling, having a good time, drinking a pumpkin spice latte, and it's like 95 degrees outside. All it's done today is rain. And I'm like, yeah, this is why I want my hair up 99.9% of the time. But Young Azalea, and just Azalea in general, has a really cool character design. I didn't resonate with her as much as I did with Prism. Prism would be like my reader insert character in fanfiction. I don't know if that's a good reason to pick a favorite, but I was like, I like this Prism. I like Prism. But as I've been mentioning, maybe my favorite setting will change. Maybe my favorite art set will change, you know, in the coming weeks. So excited to see what Legend Story Studios has to reveal to us in the near future. So getting into our final pack of here of box 1 for Nicholas. I have a cousin named Nicholas. I'm Greek, so of course I have to have at least one cousin named Nicholas. Yeah, Pedal to the Metal, Pour the Mold, and Storm Strider's Foil Legend. Look at that last pack magic, dude. Dude. Last pack magic. Have a foil legend here. Storm Striders. Let me pull up that TCG listing. Well, a heavy played unlimited foil is $46, so heavy play. Look like near mint's around 55 to 60. That's a big jump. It goes from like 55, 56, 57, 71. Hey, I mean, that's nearly the box here for box 1 for Nicholas. So box 1 here, Storm Strider's Legendary Foil. That is super sick. Definitely going to go ahead and get that sleeved on up as soon as we finish off that pack. But can you talk about last pack magic? I mean, yes, it's box 1. It would have been for extra effect if it was the last pack of box 2. But that is sick. You know, first time I open up Arcane Rising in what feels like months. It probably hasn't been months. It's just one of those things where I was doing our Black Label fan thank you videos earlier today. Because, of course, like I said, I'm recording on Wednesday. And, you know, it was the video for Mark M. And I was like, oh, you let me open up a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! For you. And, like, for me, it feels like it's 2 months ago, but it's really like a week and a half ago. It's crazy. It's crazy how time flies. I just open so much stuff that I lose track. So it's like, oh, when was the last time we had Flesh and Blood? No idea. Feels like forever ago. Oh, really wasn't that long ago. But, hey, I'm just excited to open up everything. So I am moving off to the side these stacks of commons. I'm not stealing them. I'm just relocating them. Just because a box of Arcane Rising Unlimited yields, I mean, I meant a regular box would too, a regular first print, but does yield a lots of commons. So I did need to move that stack out of the way before I blocked the face cam. But alright, so we'll do a recap at the end of box 2, but just for mental note, did have 2 Majestics. You know, it's weird going back to sets that just had supers and Majestics instead of just straight Majestics, so it feels a little odd. But just 2 Majestics, a foil super, 3 foil rares, and a foil legend. Woo! Very cool, very cool. So let's go ahead and get on into box number 2 here, see what we can find. I don't know if box number 2 could possibly be as cool as box 1, but maybe we'll find our first Fabled as I smack, of course, all of our foil rares. Let's pop this top open, yeah. What a better way. What a better way to go out here tonight than with a foil legendary. I have the coolest job on the internet. I do. Alright, here we go. Pack 1, box 2 for Nicholas. Not my cousin Nico, a different Nicholas. We have Reduce the Rune Chant and Oath of the Arknights. Foil super rare, Tome of Aetherwind. It's a really cool looking book, if I do say so myself. I love... The one thing I'm not too crazy about Arcane Rising is they did have very muted rainbow foils. But when it pops, it pops. I like how, of course, the shade is there, and then I'm assuming the sun's shining in from like a window. Or maybe it's... Yeah, it's not the candlelight, because the candle over here isn't really doing much. But I'm assuming there's like a window open, and it's highlighting the corner of the book. That's cool. That's cool. Foil super, Tome of Aetherwind. That is something I feel like I've noticed visible improvement as more sets have gone on. I feel the rainbow foils look better. I'm just excited to see where the game goes. We do have Take Cover, Life for a Life, and Stir the Aetherwinds, foil rare. Reduce the Rune Chant, Take Aim, and Ridge Rider Shot, common foil. Another one of those Kano Young Heroes. Pedal to the Metal, Stir the Aetherwinds, and Index common foil. Silver the Tip, Endless Arrow, Super, and Blood Spill Invocation, common foil. Enchanting Melody, Forked Lightning, super rare. And Plunder Run, foil rare. Do you have Aether Sync, Oath of the Arknights, and Mage Master Boots common foil? I like those. They're like pink and purple boots. They look fun. Maybe not good for sneaking around. Might be a little too bright, but they look fun. I'd definitely try them on if I saw them at a shoe store. Alright, looking like perhaps halfway through the second box. Absorb an Aether, Take Aim, and Whisper of the Oracle common foil. I like Azalea's full title too. Azalea, Ace in the Hole. Very skilled ranger class hero. Spellblade Assault, Convection Amplifier, and Voltic Bolt common foil. Plunder Run, Oath of the Arknights, and Read the Runes foil. Pedal to the Metal, Blazing Aether Majestic, our first Majestic of the box, and Force Sight common foil. Aether Spindle, Pour the Mold, and Fate Foreseen. Aether Spindle, Pour the Mold, and Arena's Prayer foil rare. Oath of the Arknight, Take Aim, and Ravenous Rabble. Now, we've only seen that one Majestic so far. Wonder if we might find a foil Majestic. We're getting closer to the end of the box. Box 2 only had 2 total Majestics. Although we have had a foil super rare. Curious to see what we will find. We'll find another foil super. We'll find several more foil rares. Do you have a Silver the Tip, Stir the Aether Winds, and Cadaverous Contraband? There we go. You can see the foiling in the water there. I was like, I know it's a foil. It's in the foil slot. Just had a hard time seeing it at that moment. Absorb an Aether, Oath of the Arknights, and Rune Flash common foil. Take Cover, Become the Arknight Super, and Headshot foil. Craziness. Arena's Prayer, Enchanting Melody, and Life for Life foil rare. Plunder Run, Spellblade Assault, and Push the Point common foil. I love Dash's young hero design. We don't have full-size Dash on the back. We have Crucible of Aetherweave. But I love her outfit. It looks very fun. Again, I'm jealous of the hair length. Jealous. But then I couldn't put it up, so. That's just life, I suppose. Can't have it both ways. Stir the Aether Winds. Take cover. And foil rare, Convection Amplifier. So perhaps we're going here with option 2, finding a ton of foil rares towards the end of the box instead of a foil majestic. We do have, by the looks of it, 4 packs remaining here for Nicholas. Life for a Life, Cognition Nodes, and Spellblade Strike. Reduce the Rune Chant, Pedal to the Metal, Hamstring Shot. Alright, second to last pack. Only one Majestic here was that Blazing Aether. So I'm hoping we're finding one in these last 2 packs. Spellblade Assault, and we do have Aether Spindle, Index Common Foil. Perhaps I used up all my luck here for Nicholas on box 1, though. Alright, box 2. Last pack. Can we have double last pack magic? Finishing off this second Flesh and Blood special. Let's see. Plunder Run, and do have 3 of a kind. Did have another Majestic, so nothing crazy in the last pack, but getting another Majestic is always a very nice find, especially, like I said, Welcome to Wraith and Arcane Rising did have those super rares, so not getting too many Majestics. It's very important to get as many as you can per box. You're not getting like 5, 6, 7. You're getting 2. So definitely didn't want to miss out on that second one. Happy to find that 3 of a kind in our final pack. Let me go ahead and clean up here, straighten up our piles, and then of course get on into our recap. This is only half of our commons. Don't forget I did move over that giant pile off screen already earlier from box 1. But we'll go ahead and straighten them on up. Nice big old stack here of rares. Big old stack of common foils as well. Across the 2 boxes, we did find 3, 4, 8 foil rares. I'm assuming an average of 4 per box. Did have Convection Amplifier, Life for a Life, Arena's Prayer, Plunder Run, Stir the Aether Winds, Pour the Mold, Take Cover, and Life for a Life. Also, in each box, we did find a foil super rare, Chains of Eminence and Tome of Aetherwind. They both have very neat foilings. Emphasis there on the chains and the robes. And then, of course, on that tome. Across the 2 boxes, of course, we did find a total of just 7 regular super rares. Had become the Arc Knights, Forked Lightning, Endless Arrow, another Endless Arrow, Maximum Velocity, Chains of Eminence, and another Become the Arc Knight. Then 4 total Majestics. 3 of a kind from our last pack of box 2, Blazing Aether, Arc Knight Ascendancy, and Teklo Core. Last but not least, can't forget that final pack pull from box number 1 did have that foil Storm Striders. Now with that does wrap off this very incredible double box opening here for Nicholas. Thank you so much, Nicholas, for letting me open up some Arcane Rising Unlimited for you here on the channel. Really hope you enjoyed the opening and love these new additions to your collection. Big congratulations on that foil legendary. Was hoping we might find our first fabled ever here in this video. Would have definitely been a very cool occasion. But you know what? Legends are great as well. Very happy to find that here for you. That Wizard Equipment legs. Did you know that you have to put boots on your legs? I did not. Just messing with you guys. But this has been definitely a very fun experience. So, Nicholas, I hope you're excited to be a part of it. Like I said, it wasn't necessarily Nicholas's plan. He just wanted to some box of Arcane Rising. I was like, I know what I could do with that. So thank you, Nicholas, for letting me open this on up for you. And I hope you enjoyed being in our Flesh and Blood Primer, the second of 3 videos, and of course our series leading up to next week's 3rd video with that exclusive preview card for Tales of Aria. It sits there in that package and it mocks me. It mocks me. It says, Allie, don't you want to know what I am early? And I'm like, stop. I will be pure. I will follow directions. But I'm excited for that next week. So make sure you tune in, you guys, next Thursday, 1 week from today, September 9th, for that exclusive preview. Oh, I'm bursting with excitement for it. This is absolutely incredible. Incredible experience, incredible opportunity. I'm so ready for it. But yes, I think that wraps up part 3 here with that final unboxing of some Flesh and Blood product. Definitely had a wonderful time in this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. So if you did, don't forget to go ahead and hit that like button. Comments from me, leave those down below. Let me know what your favorite part of the video was. Did I throw you any curveballs? Did it not go as expected? Let me know in your thoughts in the comment section down below. And of course, if you're not yet part of the Titan Cards family, I'd love to have you join us. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, that way you don't miss next week's preview spoiler. So, very excited for that. Very excited. Yes. I'm so excited. But yes, that I think will do it here. But before I get on out of this video, of course, I do have to give a big shout out to our #1 supporters here, all of you channel members. Thank you so much, you guys, for your above and beyond supports. Bossman and I really, truly do appreciate it. We do have 12 Black Label fans, Andon, Bounty Hunter Breaks, Chris Rivers, Devon, Epicenter Gaming, Fails Tales, Kira Soltari, Mark Mardini, MT, Sean F, Stephen Olivo, and Stephen Bly. We also have 11 Gemmint fans, Alberto M, Chicago Infinity, Dragonfire, Dusty Archuleta, Jared Geek, Jake Rhino C, Joe Howe, Michael C, Michael Bigelow, Scorecard Collectibles, and Sinvicta. But thank you so much to all of our channel members. Really appreciate each and every one of you. And of course, all members do have their name shown on the screen at the end of every video. But I think with this, does wrap up this pretty long Flesh and Blood primer. Learned about the products, learned about the game, learned about my interactions with the game, the cards, the lore, things like that. Had that little Q&A, and then wrapped it off here with part 3, checking out 2 boxes of Arcane Rising for Nicholas. So I think this is pretty fruitful, pretty eventful, and I had a blast, so I hope you did as well. But that does it for me here in this video. I'll, of course, be back tomorrow. I believe Panini Black Football should be coming in, checking that out in the morning. And then actually tomorrow afternoon and throughout the weekend for a little bit, so I'll actually be up in Tampa, actually at that Collector's Con, checking that on out. See, maybe, I wonder if they'll have any Flesh and Blood stuff there. Legend Story Studios not attending in any capacity to my knowledge, but it is supposed to be trading cards, so curious if it's like sports, non-sports. I wonder if there'll be any TCG stuff, but very excited to check it on out. If I see any alpha boxes, I'll take pictures and post on Instagram, because that'd be cool to experience in person. I can't even touch that, but I could probably take a picture. That'd be cool. Let you guys know if I see any Flesh and Blood stuff there tomorrow afternoon. But with that does it for me here. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!